Hey, what's up guys? This is Double here. I am going to be casting a 1 versus 1. It is going to be between our yellow Terran player spawning in the bottom right side. His name is going to be Beastyqt, and his opponent is going to be Nerchio spawning in the top left side as the red Zerg. Both these players are going to be from Team Empire, although don't be fooled by the AAA in the beginning of Nerchio's name. I don't know why he hasn't changed that, but he made the switch from Team Against All Authority to Team Empire in March or something, I believe. Anyways, this is going to be a Zerg versus Terran, obviously, and the map for today's game is going to be Shakuras Plateau. So, I don't know where this game is from. You can see they have a little chit chat. There are teammates, so they're being really friendly. But anyways, I don't know where this came from. I just happened to grab it because a bunch of people told me that this is a great game, so I don't know if this is from a tournament, the best of 3, best of 5, ladder, or anything like that, but most likely this is going to be a practice game or some sort of tournament game, because you can see Beastyqt has the color yellow, and that means this is a custom game, and not a ladder game. Anyways, Beastyqt is a pretty interesting player, plays a lot on ladder, not as much as maybe Cass or something like that, but he plays a lot still, and not competing too much in tournaments, so he isn't that well known, but is still fairly well known, and he is a great player. He's ranked top 25 on the European Grandmasters. I have forgotten what exact place he is ranked on, but I believe it's top 25 or top 20, something like that. Nerchio, on the other hand, is a very successful both ladder player and tournament player. He's competing in so many of these smaller weekly tournaments. Look at that, that's just hilarious dude that Nerchio managed to squeeze out on the chat. But anyways, Nerchio competing in so many different of the weekly somewhat smaller tournaments, and he's doing great. He's winning a lot and finishing top 3 every now and then, and he's also known for being the best ranked random player during season 1. Yes, you heard me, that was not TLO, that was Nerchio was the best ranked random player on the European server, that is. I don't know about the Korean server or the American server, but he was very successful at playing random. I believe it was top 5 almost the whole season or something, or the end of the season, excuse me. But now he's made a switch to Zerg, just like TLO did a switch to Terran. And talking about TLO, if you haven't heard, he is going to retire for a while. Not completely, still going to stick with StarCraft, but it is going to be a while until he can play professionally again, because he has some sort of I don't know what to call it, disease in his hands, or he can't play effectively because his hands are hurting from some kind of disease or something like that. So that's just sad that the StarCraft community is missing out on TLO's epic playstyle. But now we can see that this game is fully underway. We can see Beastyqt is moving out with 4 Marines, and he is going to go for his pretty fast command center, which he favors to do. He is a macro-oriented player who a lot of times favors fast expands, and he really likes them, and he's immediately going from barracks into the factory, and now putting down the starport. He has the tech lab on the factory, so he's possibly going to go for the tech switch with the starport going onto the tech lab to allow for that Banshee play. So let's see about that. And he's also going to add a tech lab on his first barracks and setting up a bunker here so he can secure his expansion. Meanwhile, Nerchio has grabbed his fast expansion. I was far away in the distance and talking about these two players, and I didn't see if he went pool first or went hatch first, but that doesn't matter. He has both pool and hatch up now, and he's also going to grab a baneling nest. His Zergling speed is almost done, and he has only made Zerglings so far and a spine crawl as defense. But meanwhile, we can see that Beastyqt is going to continue to squeeze out those Marines with that combat shield, and is also going to go for a Viking for Overlord hunting and the Hellion with the Infernal Pre-Igniter. Let's see how many Hellions is going to do. This could be interesting, since the only thing Nerchio is going for is Banelings and Zerglings, and both those units are light. So they are going to be very vulnerable to Hellions of all sorts, because they do that additional damage to light units. But now 4 Zerglings has swarmed into Beastyqt's base and going to scout out what he's up to, and going to see that something is making out the starport. But he is going to know that no Banshees are on the way, because he didn't swap that starport onto that tech lab. Instead made that for used that for making the Infernal Pre-Ignite for Hellion. So no Banshees coming on there, because there's no add-on on the starport. Very valuable information for Nerchio, who knows that the only thing he can make out of that starport as for now is going to be Vikings or Medivacs. But still, he's going to squeeze out a layer, and he also has a Spinecrawler up here on the way. I don't know what that Spinecrawler is for. Maybe he's afraid of drops landing here or something. And speaking of drops landing here comes the drop, and this Spinecrawler is very good placed here. And here comes the Viking to... I don't know what this Viking is landing, so going to support this attack, but is maybe going to be poked away by that Spinecrawler at 2 HP away, and this Roach is sniping it. But a bunch of Hellions in the back waiting for the Brigand going to snipe all those drones, and we have to pause. Whoa, you have to excuse me for that, the phone was calling. But now we can see that all these Marines are going to be blasted away by those Roaches and those Zerglings, and the Queens is possibly going to snipe this Medivac on its way home, but no, it's escaped with 14 measly HP. It is a potential for a drop here with those Hellions. The Zerg cannot be safe until he gets out air units, and speaking of air units, he is going to put down his spire somewhere. Can't seem to find it. There it is. So when he gets out this air units, he can hunt down this Medivac. But look at this, he already has prepared with the Zerglings, so this drop is possibly never going to land. Meanwhile, during all this, Zergling has managed to squeeze out a drone to grab his 3rd base around the 10-minute mark, which is pretty standard. And now we can see that Beastyqt is also going to grab his 3rd expansion. He is going to build it in his main base, which is going to delay it some seconds before I believe he's going to fly it down here. But he has nice saturation in his natural, although it could use a lot more drone, SCVs on minerals, but I don't think he cares too much, because he has double command center and squeezing out a ton of mules. Now these Hellions are going to land down here and going to scout out and see that Nerchio has actually gone for a double expand, so talk about a macro Zerg. Now these Overlords are going to see this Medivac, and they can't tell if this Medivac is full or not, so there's a potential for Nerchio moving all his forces up here to prevent what he think might be a drop, and that is exactly what he's doing. So this might be the opportunity for these Hellions to roll down here, but I don't think that Beastyqt realized what he did right there. You can see he selected his Hellion for a short period of time there, so maybe going to go here and kill a couple of drones. Meanwhile, a Marine scouting up here to see that no sneaky base from the Zerg player is here. And also the Zerg player is scouting that no 3rd base has gone up for the Terran at this location. Now you can see this Terran is moving out with a bunch of siege tank and Marines. He has the siege mode already completed with the +1 attack and armor on the way for his infantry, as long as the +1 attack for his tanks. So this will just make his army that more scary, but at this point in the game you almost want to start your +2 upgrades, I believe, so it's a bit late on that. Now here come the mutas from the backs. There are only 6 of them, because he is going to switch to Infestor Tech in a minute, but mutas always good for harassment. You can see here he's preventing mining at this location, also sniping some SCVs. He's forcing the Terran player out of position, and no defense here to speak of. Beastyqt cannot let go of this base because the Roaches are coming up front, but now These Marines are steaming and just going to scare away those mutas, but these flying T-Rexes has done their job, prevented mining from this location for a very long time, sniping a bunch of SCVs. Flying down here, hoping that the tanks were unguarded, but no, they were not. A squadron of Marines were defending them and going to hunt them down with their stim pack. But now a Zergling is maybe going to get a Marine kill if Nerchio doesn't see this, but he did. Nerchio has a bunch of Zerglings up here to scout for this third base, but I only think it would be it's smart to have one Zergling here, because all these Zerglings are not a big army, but it's still valuable to keep them alive. So losing all these Zerglings to let's say the Terran moving up here as securing his third base is not going to be a healthy thing for Nerchio to do, but it is going to grab a double expansion again, so going to be on 6 mining bases, because he hasn't mined out in his main yet. So going to be 6 mining bases against the Terrans 3, so this is just going to be devastating for our Terran player. We can see he's going for the high tech and also switching it up to infestors with a pathogen glands. Our Zerg player, that is. You can see that Beastyqt is trying to set up a bunch of misters and Centaur in the middle, but he is unaware of those banelings rolling up from the north. And one baneling is going to scout in, and this revealed all the banelings, but the Marines can't see them uphill, but they did in the last second. Is going to micro well with that stim pack, and even with the centrifugal hooks, those banelings did nothing. And now I here have the initial 6 mules harassing in bottom. They're now managed to be whittled down to 4 thanks to these 2 missile turrets. No, actually not, but I believe there were Marines there picking up or something like that. Now you can see that 5 more barracks is going to be put on for Beastyqt, which just shows that he has a crazy good economy with those third bases and the mules going all around the place with those 3 orbital commands. I wouldn't be surprised to see him grab a 4th now, once he scouts these 2 expansions from Nerchio. Although Nerchio has to be careful not to oversaturate himself with the launch of drones. You can see he's at 93 drones, and as a Zerg you want to stop at around 75 or 80 drones when you are this many bases, because this will harm your army and make it that much that less large, so or that much smaller, I would say, because you can see that the Zerg is ahead a lot in supply, but he's a 23 of that is going to be in drones. Now we have a drop here in the back, a huge drop with a lot of Marines, but the Zerglings is going to pick it up. I don't know how much damage it did, but you can see that a lot of drones is missing here. Now the medevac is going to go down to a fungi growth and a bunch of mules, but it did scout some pretty important thing. It scouted the hive, it scouted the ultralisk cavern, and it scouted the great spider, and almost managed to take it out. But now we can see it pushing through the front. Terran, that is, doing a great job locking down his third and killing a bunch of drones. Now he's going to load up in this medevac and elevator up to this base, and no, I don't think he knows about it. Seems like he's going for this base. Let's see about that. But now the drones are going to come back mining. No, he's going to lock down this base as well. So great play from Beastyqt, locking down 2 of Nerchio's bases just like that. And he has so many drones to kill here. Look at the drone numbers here, starting whittling down. Wow, this is not good for Nerchio. Although he has a great economy to pull back on, he's still on 4 bases, but only 3 mining bases, and Beastyqt is going to pick off, and he has to drop them right now or he's going to lose it. No! Nerchio decides to fall back with these mutas. Now he's instead going to go up here and prevent this command center from landing, but squadron of Marines and 2 tanks is going to go over here and most likely going to snipe those Zerglings, I was about to say, but no, the medevac decided to pick them up because 2 tanks probably couldn't have fend for themselves in that battle. But now the huge Zerg army, which is going to be maxed out, is going to go through the middle. It's going to consist of Zerglings, infestors, and ultras, to just a massive ground army. Now you can see that our Zerg player is also going to go for those corruptors and more ultralisks, so just T3 all over the place. See that the Zerg ground attack is level 3, is being upgraded, but the Terran players has +3/+3 for his ground units upgrading, and also that ship weapons level 1, so I am really curious to why he's going for that. Maybe it's for all his Vikings. He is expecting Broodlords because he saw that great Aspire. Wow, he's already prepared with those Vikings, and if it comes to a great battle, he can always land those Vikings, and they have actually a pretty great DPS versus light units. But now this commander is most likely going to go down. Nearless and the Crafter could have shot it down, but our Circular is supply block at the moment, so if he pushes in here and the Terran do a army swap, he can't rebuild his army as soon as, unless this Overlord is coming back. But now the Terran army is just being whittled down, and he doesn't have a planetary fortress to fall back on, but all these Vikings has done a great job shooting down the air units from Nerchio, and all that remains is a bunch of roaches and a couple of ultras. 2 bunkers here are most likely going to go down, 2 of those ultras. 2 marauders here are going to stim and try to take out the ultras. Vikings standing on the high ground, a very smart move from Beastyqt, so because the roaches nor the ultras can attack them because they don't have high ground vision. Now you can see that the supply is just falling apart for our Zerg player. And I believe that was to a drop that I missed up here. I just saw that medevac. We have a marine here down as well. Don't know why I would commentate on that. Now we have corruptors here in the back, could potentially morph to broodlords and start harassing this expansion, which could be vital considering how many SCVs there are, and also a couple of supply depots to remove. But now our turn player is going to throw up 4 bunkers down here. He definitely don't feel secure, and I wouldn't either, because look at how much supply our circular is ahead. Look at that. Take a look at the income tab. We can see that our circular has a sizable income, and now a drop is going to be held off again from Nerchio, just staying on top of these drops, although he did lose his Great Aspire and a bunch of drones, so no mining going on here whatsoever at the moment. So great job by Beastyqt locking that down, and now he's finally going to grab his 4th expansion. It's also setting up to grab his 5th, so smart move there, and expanding all over again. Now I believe our circular is going to move out in a while, but when he does, this marine squadron is going to... it's not going to be a threat. I said we're going to be a threat, but now the corruptors is coming here. But the medevac actually saw the new spire morphing into a greater spire, so he knows what there's potential of. Now the circular saw this medevac could potentially go up here and protect this, because they don't know if the medevac's slowed or not. A couple of stray Vikings down here could be sniped easily by our circular if the Terran is not guarding them, although he has those marines grabbing the towers, so scratch that. He has vision of a great deal of the map at that location. Now we have a huge ground army which is maxed out for the circular, going to swarm in. Keep an eye on the production tab, just look at how much the circle will reproduce during these, because Nerchio is such a great circular. He will keep his macro up. I believe now, I don't know what he's doing. He's just producing Zerglings, but now the Vikings has done a great job shooting away all those corrupts, and all that remains is a bunch of ultras and 1 lonely infestor, which could use a fungal growth. No, he gets sniped. Now the ultras is going to roll in here, but they're going to be kited by those marauders and marines. But now they're going to swap in and just hug them to death. Talk about a humiliating killing blow, getting hugged to death. The ultras have no other choice than going up here and locking down this expansion. Beastyqt already on top of that, and it has lifted off the expansion, although that means that these SV has to long distance mine and are vulnerable if these ultras would decide to hug them as well. Now Zerglings swarming in here and taking out a lot of marauders. Marauders not the unit you want against those Zerglings, but the marines are there for the DPS as well. The bunkers is there to help out Beastyqt as well. Now it's going to stim and try to pick off those ultras, but you gotta remember ultras has that 6 armor right now, so these marines and marauders aren't doing that much damage. Now you can see the Vikings out here doing some overlord hunting and always keeping Nerchio on his toes. Wow, look at how many how many overlords that could have been sniped there if this queen and these corruptors wouldn't have come out there. Now we can see that the Vikings are soon going to have that +2 armor. No, the +2 attack, that is going to make them that much more devastating. But take a look at Nerchio's minerals. They are so low, and he has so much gas because all these constant drops from Beastyqt has forced Nerchio not only to mine out in his natural before his main, because he has to transfer his drones away, but also to remake a ton of drones. I just saw 12 drones on the production tab, and if you take a look at these two bases, you can see how little drones there are. So he's not very comfortable now with his economy, although it will soon be back to max as soon as those drones will start to kick in. You see he's already having a hard time to keep his mineral low. And what he could do now is just squeeze out a bunch of infestors to use up all that gas. But no, he's going to grab a ton of broodlords still. But Marauders down here is going to snipe that hatchery. Wow, what a nice job by our Zerg player. No, our Terran player rather. Now he's going to stream in here with his Marines and Marauders. 2 Marines getting picked off by those spine crawlers. Now they're going to kill that queen. The Zerg army is swarming up here. You gotta remember that the Zerg has a very mobile army, especially if they have great creep spread, which you can't blame Nerchio for not having. He could use a couple of tumors more, but nag. You see, they has the adrenal glands, making the Zerglings into cracklings, and just make them much more devastating. This Overlord just wiping sweat of his forehead because he was just that scared when those Vikings flew by and did his shooting down. Now Zerglings swarming in here, taking out a lot of SCVs from Beastyqt. He has to list this command center off, or else he is potential for a command center snipe, because those Zerglings have so good upgrades. But I believe he has, yes, he has researched that armor plating, which is an upgrade you never see getting researched in a game. But the Zerg player is just swarming in every location. Beastyqt cannot mine from anywhere except for these, and he only has 2 mineral patches left. Now the Ultras and the Corruptors and the Infestors is going to attack in from north. Dual Parasite going on in a bunch of tanks. I don't see how Beastyqt can hold this. Fun growth going down on the infantry beautifully there. More final growth and more Neural Parasites going down. The Viking could not shoot away at those Corruptors, even though the Corruptors didn't have any upgrades whatsoever. Lonely Marine still firing from this bunker, but the bunker is going to burn down, and Beastyqt is going to GG as soon as he lost all his ground forces. And great game from Nerchio. Beastyqt had a drop going on here, but Nerchio didn't need his base anyway, because he had a lot of other mining bases. So great job by Nerchio. Still doesn't know where this game is from, and also morphing some bad-mannered broodlords. Although I think this is a friendly game, considering they're both on Team Empire, so I don't think that Beastyqt will be too offended by this. But still, great game, Nerchio. This is it for this time. I'm going to be signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.